Good evening. The meeting of the Attleboro Municipal Council will now come to order. Please join me in rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. All right. So we don't need to suspend the rules today, and we'll move right into the public hearings. Madam Clerk, will you please read the notice for the first public hearing?
Public hearings for February 17th, 2026. The Municipal Council and Planning Board will hold a joint public hearing for the following: the rezoning petition filed by John F. D. Jacoby III on behalf of 94 County Street LLC regarding a proposal to rezone land located at 0 County Street and 92-104 County Street, Assessors Plat number 32, Lot number 6, 92 through 104 County, and Plat number 31, lot number 2370 County Street, from central business to transit-oriented development, is rescheduled for March the 3rd, 2026.
Thank you.
Second, regarding a proposed amendment to Article 7, Section 1 of the Rules of Procedure to dissolve the IT and Infrastructure Standing Committee and create an Economic Development and Strategic Planning Standing Committee.
Thank you. Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in opposition? Is there anyone to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. Let's see. Councilor McIntyre, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing?
Mr. Kovas,
Oh.
I raised my hand, I was trying to talk.
Sorry, no, yeah, I was looking for it, but please, Mr. Kerr.
Yes, I wanted to speak against, as much as I don't like some of the counselors that are on the council because they absolutely hate the disabled, they did bring up some really good points about shortfalls in members to make up these committees. And I don't see a reason on why Attleboro should have 20, 30 committees if they can't even fill a quarter of them. Maybe we should work on trying to fill the committees that we already have before we start bringing in new committees that are going to have so many vacancies that they can't even be utilized. Like the committee against or for disabled people in Attleboro. I think it's ACAD or Attleboro Commission on Disability. Never followed up with any of my emails, complained about everything that was going on with the city council to them. No one ever followed me up. They barred half of their meetings. They were virtual meetings that were supposed to be hybrid with remote access until I mentioned that I was going to sue over access.
Mr. Kerr, if I can interject real quick. This is to change one of our standing committees for the city council, not to establish a new committee. So this is to dissolve an existing committee and stand up a new one. Okay.
No, I understood. I just was trying to say, if we are having problems with other committees, what is the point of having it new? That's basically it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. Councilor McIntyre, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
All right, I declare the public hearing closed. And Madam Clerk, will you please move on to the next public hearing?
Sure. The final public hearing for this evening regarding request to amend Chapter 2, Section 19 of the revised ordinances to include a requirement to hold a public hearing when a tax incentive exemption, which is a tie, or tax incentive funding, which is a TIF, is requested from the city.
Thank you. Is there anyone here to speak in favor? Anyone to speak in favor? Is there anyone to speak in opposition? Is there anyone to speak neither for nor against?
I would like to speak neither for nor against.
Mr. Kerr, please.
Yeah. Just really quick. Clerk Jackson, you can wipe that smile off your face. You can't read numbers and you're dyslexic. Stop it. Thank you.
If for public hearings, if we can keep the comments to the topic at hand. Thank you. Is there anyone else to speak neither for nor against? Hearing none. This is in, where is this one? This one's in zoning. Counselor Sawyer, do you see any reason to keep this public hearing open?
I do not.
I declare this public hearing closed, and that's our last public hearing. Moving on. We'll now move on to Committee of the Whole. I entertain a motion to enter Committee of the Whole.
Second.
Motion is in order. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we are now in Committee of the Whole. Is there anyone who wishes to address the council on any matter of city business?
I would like to speak if no one's in the room who wants to speak.
Mr. Kirk, please.
Yes. Okay. Good evening, council members. This whole mess with me started because I filed a simple public records request. That's it. But ex-council president Jay DeLisio, he's got a real problem with disabled folks, especially me. He didn't want a paper trail. So he and others jumped on an unrecorded phone call talking about my requests like it was some backroom deal. That's illegal. Substantive government business has to be on the record. Then boom, the city council, they colluded right there to revoke my reasonable modification, no notice, no due process, no reason, just because he hates the disabled. That's straight up a 14th Amendment violation. Equal protection, due process gone. And now this city's staring down a lawsuit that could cost the taxpayers $1.5 million, all because a morbidly obese ex-president couldn't stand the idea of following the law. But this is where things get real. In your executive sessions, you didn't just defend that. You questioned my doctor's letter, particularly Councilwoman Foa, picked at semicolons, called it fake. That's not strategy, that's fraud, especially invoking the crime fraud exception. Your solicitor lied in court. No documents around the revocation, but he waved that memo around in the executive session that you guys all know about. Zoom ends on a particular day. We're not asking for it back. That is perjury. Do you have any privilege? No, it's been shredded. Once a judge sees this, subpoenas, depositions, everything comes out. Every word, every plan, everything that you talked about in that executive session, or any of them. Elected officials from executive, legislative, and judicial all colluded on a whole string of civil rights violations. Not one, but a pattern. You can't hide behind closed doors when you're breaking the law. The shield's gone, the liability's real, and it all traces back to the one guy who couldn't handle a records request. I'm not here to beg, I'm here to warn you. Pay attention or pay up. You have a unique opportunity here, council, to start up an internal investigation into the morbidly obese ex-president Jay and Sawyer to get the root of the issue. You have a unique chance here to get in front of and protect the taxpayers from needless tax funds being wasted to settle my lawsuit. I want justice, and I will not stop until I have it. I will make sure that this body fears my name and knows that I will sue each and every one of you into oblivion if you don't start following the law. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kerr. Is there anyone else to speak before Committee of the Whole? Please, welcome. And if you can state your name and address for the record.
Real quick. My name is John DeVerns, 88 Richardson Avenue. I really just had a quick question. I know that one of your committees are meeting tonight regarding the the extension from the 25 to the 50-foot wetland disturb zone. And is that something that will be discussed or will be taken out of committee and put into a public hearing?
Yes, we will have a public hearing on that eventually. I believe the mayor will also be having some public engagement meetings. Councilor Sawyer, do you want to talk more about this?
You said everything. We don't have a date of the public hearing yet, but it's coming up.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
It's a little ways down the road.
Okay, I just saw it in committee. I just didn't want to miss it. I want to be here for that.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else to speak before us in Committee of the Whole? Hearing none, I move to arise from Committee of the Whole.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are arisen from Committee of the Whole. Next, we'll go to the mayor's communication. Madam Clerk, will you start with the mayor's communication?
February 17th, 2026. Dear Municipal Council, I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding the need for funds for the Fire Department Internet. In order to provide internet access and restore most of the software solutions, Comcast high-speed internet was installed at all 4 fire stations. The internet must remain in place as the primary internet for fire department operations. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body transfer $8,164.48 from the citywide reserve fund for transfer account to the fire online services account.
Thank you. Public safety?
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the following reappointments to positions and for terms as indicated.
Thank you. Human Resources and Veterans?
And there's a lot of names. In 2023, the council voted to establish donation account fund 2074, fireworks event allowing donations to be used for city fireworks without a requirement that said events be held on July 4th. As currently written, the fireworks event account limits the expenditure of donations for the event itself and does not provide for the use of donation funds to support other fireworks fundraising activities. For example, the committee cannot use donation funds to buy and sell event t-shirts at a particular fireworks event and deposit the sales proceeds back into the fireworks fund to support future events. For the past 2 years, the Ad hoc Independence Day Celebration Committee, led by Recreation Director Christy Clausen, has worked diligently to fundraise for the annual fireworks event. The estimated cost of this year's fireworks event is approximately $70,000. Without the ability to use donations for other fireworks fundraising events, the committee is limited in their efforts. Thus, in order to assist the committee with annual fundraising efforts and ensure a rolling fund balance for future events, I propose amending language of Fund 2074 by adding the following provision: fundraising activities for future years' fireworks events. Additionally, since the fund was created, the union contract with city laborers has been changed to include detailed rate for laborers who work at after-hours city events. The fund account language needs to be amended to reflect this change. As amended, the fund description would read as follows: 74 fireworks event receive donations to support fireworks events in the city to include but not limited to fireworks display, police, fire, and laborers details, city employee overtime, printing costs, entertainment costs, any additional costs for the event, fundraising activities for future years' fireworks events, to be expended by the administrative assistant to the council or designee authorized by the mayor.
Thank you. We'll assign that to the Finance Committee.
I respectfully submit a communication from Acting Superintendent of Wastewater Laurie Dumont regarding the need to replenish funds used after an internal transfer was completed to enter into a contract with CDM Smith, Inc. to provide emergency management support services, direction concerning potential improvements, and to department operations, maintenance, and administration, and assist in ensuring compliance with all state and federal requirements pertaining to the wastewater. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $57,600 from the Wastewater Enterprise Fund retained earning account to the Wastewater Enterprise Fund Lights and Power account.
Thank you. Public Works?
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Catherine Fierick to fill an unexpired term on the Attleboro Redevelopment Authority, term to expire February 2031.
Outstanding. Human Resources and Veterans?
I respectfully submit for confirmation by your honorable body the appointment of Nicole Amichetti to fill an unexpired term on the Traffic Study Commission, term to expire February 2027.
Human Resources and Veterans?
I respectfully recommend that the city accept an undeveloped parcel of land off of Bolcom Lane, further described as Lot 4, undevelopable, stormwater management, containing plus 61,935 square feet as shown on the plan of land entitled Definitive Subdivision Plan for Viridian Meadows Phase 2, prepared by Commonwealth Engineers and Consultants Incorporated. This conveyance is subject to the Attleboro Conservation Commission Order of Conditions number 097-1184, dated July 13, 2011. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body accept Lot 4, undevelopable, stormwater management containing plus 61,935 square feet.
Zoning and Land Use?
I respectfully submit a communication from Acting Superintendent of Wastewater Laurie Dumont regarding the need to replenish funds used after an internal transfer was completed for emergency electrical services at the wastewater plant. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $10,000 from wastewater enterprise fund retained earning account to the wastewater enterprise fund licensed power account.
Public Works,
I respectfully submit a communication from Attleboro Public Schools Director of Finance Brittany Perella regarding the following fiscal year 25 fiscal obligations that were not received in time to be processed in the normal fiscal year 25 business cycle. The vendor is Centricity, and the amount is $32. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body to authorize the school department to pay these previous year bills totaling $32.
Finance Committee,
I respectfully submit a communication from Veteran Service Director Ben Quell regarding the donation of $100 in Stop and Shop and $25 Market Basket gift cards from Albert Sullivan. In accordance with Section 1-12 of the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro, I hereby request your honorable body accept these generous donations to the City of Attleboro.
Human Resources and Veterans,
I respectfully submit a communication from Economic Director Christopher McDermott regarding the need for authorization for a proposed tax increment exemption, a TIE, agreement as required under the Massachusetts Housing Development Incentive Program, which is HDIP, for mill properties. The City of Attleboro's Economic Development Incentive Board voted in support of the TIE on February 9, 2026. Therefore, pursuant to Mass General Law 40V, Section 4B1, and Mass General Law 59, Section 5M, I hereby request your honorable body approve the following resolution authorizing me to execute the TIE agreement between the city and Mill Properties, Inc. Attleboro Municipal Council resolution authorizing the tax increment.
in Finance Committee.
Okay.
And this requires it doesn't require a public hearing, but I'm going to call for a public hearing on March 3rd.
Second.
Motion's in order. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. We'll have a public hearing on March 3rd regarding this tie agreement.
I respectfully submit a communication from Fire Chief Scott T. LaChance regarding the need for funds to purchase a 2020 Dodge Ram 5500 4x4 ambulance with power-loaded stretcher and 5 LifePak 15 cardiac monitors from the town of Easton. The ambulance and cardiac monitors would be beneficial to our EMS service delivery. The ambulance is essentially the same as our current ambulances and would be a reliable reserve ambulance. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $150,000 from the undesignated fund balance free cash general government account to the following accounts: $75,000 to the fire ambulance purchase lease, $75,000 to the fire monitors account.
Thank you. Public Safety?
I respectfully submit a communication from Director of Budget and Administration, Mason Lord, regarding fiscal year 2025 net school spending surplus. The school department had $601,682.11 in unspent fiscal year 2025 funds. Of that, $741.38 was not net school spending related. In line with the historical practice of the city, this administration has remained committed to appropriating the unspent prior year NSS funds to the school department for use in the following fiscal year. APS Director of Finance, Brittany Perella, has identified a NSS eligible account for those funds. Account A52000A0-517120, School Insurance Program Health Insurance, HMOs. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $600,940.73 from the undesignated fund balance free cash general government account to account A52000A0-517120, School Insurance Programs, Health Insurance, HMOs.
Thank you. Finance Committee?
In accord with long-standing practice, I respectfully submit a communication from City Auditor Deborah O'Connor regarding the amount due from the city to the school department for the Medicaid reimbursement program pursuant to the Memorandum of Understanding on the Municipal Revenue Sharing Agreement. Therefore, I hereby request your honorable body appropriate $556,786.51 from undesignated fund balance free cash general government account to the school appropriation Medicaid account for eligible net school spending expenses.
Thank you. Finance Committee?
I am pleased to report that the city has reached an agreement with the Attleboro Firefighters Local 848 IAFF for the fiscal year 26 through fiscal year 29 contract terms. I am grateful to Human Resources Director Lynn Davin and Director of Budget and Administration Mason Lord for their good work and have attached the executed memorandum of agreement between the city and Local 848 for the period of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029. Therefore, I hereby respectfully request your honorable body approve the funding of the cost items contained within the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Attleboro and the City of Attleboro firefighters, Local 848 IAFF, for the period of July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029, fiscal years 27 through fiscal year 29.
Thank you. We'll assign that one to the Finance Committee, and as an FYI, we'll assign it to the Finance Committee, and for everyone's information, we should know that this needs to be acted on within 30 days.
Sincerely, Kathleen D. Simone, Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any clerk
No
communication?
clerk this evening.
Outstanding. Then we will move right along to the committee reports. And we'll start with Councilor Angela. Councilor Angela?
Thank you, President Kobus. Reporting for Human Resources and Veterans Committee. For the docket of February 17, 2026, I move to appoint Renee Vachon Danho to fill an unexpired term on the Board of Library Trustees, term to expire February 2028.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Any comments?
Renee was unable to visit with us, but her very well-to-do resume explains and shows her worth to Library Board of Trustees. And when she's back in town, she will be coming in front of the City Council to get to meet with everybody. And this fills a need that they have so they can continue on and have her zoom through where she's at right now to be able to handle the items for the Board of Library Trustees.
Outstanding. And I recognize that it was a little bit of a thing going back and forth. I do appreciate that most of the time we bring people in front of us. I understand that in this case it wasn't possible. But I do hope we can move forward, and I appreciate you jumping through some hoops and investigating and trying to get that done.
Yep.
Are there any other comments from people? Hearing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
For the docket of February 17, 2026, I move to appoint Joseph Parent to fill an expired term on the Council on Aging, term to expire February 2030.
Second.
Motion is in order.
We heard from Mr. Parent, and it was pretty good to have him here, and looking forward to him on the Council on Aging.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
From the docket of December 16, 2026, I move to appropriate $100,000 from account undesignated fund, balance free cash, general government to account, citywide special event.
Second.
Motion is in order.
So we discussed this in committee, and this is to reiterate and discuss a little bit further. This is for the 250-year celebration. It's going to be a 3-day event. I've heard a lot of, I've not heard one person against it, honestly, and everybody is looking forward to this. And they need to secure some vendors ahead of time, so they need the money to be in there to do that. And this will give the committee a chance to get those things done and have some money in there and continue to keep fundraising. And we saw on the communication too as well to help with the fundraising also, so that'll continue on.
Councilor Holmes?
Thank you. I definitely support this, and I appreciate Councilor Angela's approach to this, to have the public come in and speak on it. And he held off a little bit in December to make sure that we could hear from individuals. And it does sound like they have a plan in place, and they understand that this is something that we're trying to kind of push forward, knowing that they need to have a plan to start funding this in the future. So I do support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Dolan?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the dollar amount to $75,000.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order.
So I think, like I realize the residents want this, and $75,000 will take care of this year. I think just after hearing from Mason, our budget director, more than once, and the mayor stating the issues that we're going to have in the budget this year and everything that comes along with it, I just don't feel like this is the right time to fund for the following year. We can revisit it next year. We can always allocate money for it again next year if we're in a position. I just don't feel that, I mean, the 75 will cover it for this year. I realize that the residents want this, and it's the 250th year anniversary, so I'd like it to be at 75 and not 100,000. We can do something. I mean, we've all seen our capital improvements book. It's this thick with emergencies on there of things that people need, that our departments need. So I'd like to see this be 75,000 versus 100,000.
Any other comments? Councilor Tavares?
Just to put this in perspective, I mean, I appreciate the comment, but if we're talking about the difference between 75,000 and 100,000 when we have an operating budget of almost $200 million, I think that should be a question of should we even spend the money or not? Because I think the difference is immaterial. Not to say that $25,000 isn't significant, but in perspective, I mean, we run a $200 million budget. So maybe we should be talking about, do we really want to spend this or not? And I'm as much a hawk on spending as anyone else, but I think for something special like this and thinking about, being able to do this in the future, I don't know that this is something that's going to make or break us. There's other things that are high ticket items that I think we do need to address over the next several years. But I appreciate the thinking.
Councilor Angelo?
Yeah, I won't support going from 100 to 75. And I agree with Councilor Tavares. The capital expenditure, it's always a thick book. It's always going to be there. And the administration did back off a bit on the insurance, health insurance, which is going to be the main issue. And that is going to get helped immensely by not allowing the GLP-1s for the weight loss drug, and that should take care of it. So it doesn't sound like that's going to be that big of an issue this year. And like I said, it's an extra 25,000. And honestly, if we never did fireworks ever again, I could care less. I don't watch them. I don't go to them. I enjoy them, but I can't. I have pets and animals and stuff, and I have to take care of that, so I won't be there. But at the same time, a lot of people looking forward to this, and I've gotten so many responses on people looking forward to this, wanting to do this, and zero against it. So, I'm going to support the 100,000.
Thank you. Councilor Dolan?
So I realize that $25,000 is a drop in the bucket when you're talking about $200 million. I completely get that. And I don't care about fireworks either. I don't go to them. I have the same thing with my pets. I have to be home, sitting in my bathroom with the fan on so nobody hears anything. So I get all that, and I get why residents want this year. But I'd rather, $25,000, that could be something for recreation. That could be a mower. That could be some type of piece of equipment. I know CIP is always going to be there and it's always going to be huge, but the whole goal of it is to knock stuff off and, have city services, because that's what it boils down to, city services. So, that's my argument, and I just think, we can revisit it again next year and see where we're at, and we can always allocate money anytime throughout the year for this. So $75,000, and that's an additional $5,000 for, and then we also have money in the fireworks fund. I believe there's over $10,000 in there. So I'm sticking with the 75. Thank you.
Is there anyone else to comment? Vice President Dolan?
President Kovas?
Thank you. I am in support of this amendment. I think, the 75,000 will pay for it this year. In addition to the 10,000 or so that's in that account right now, there's also, we had $25,000 for special events in the budget for this year as well, which applies to other things, which could apply to like the Winterfest and all of that. But there was money in that account as well. And with regards to a $200 million budget, that's, I forget what the percentage of that is used up by contractual obligations, but it's, 90-something percent. We only have a small amount of discretionary funds. And so where we can save on those discretionary funds, I think is important, and especially this year. So I think we can reduce it to 75,000, and that'll cover it for this year. And I think that's a positive thing to do. So I'm in support of the amendment. Councilor Angelo?
I'd like to, if it's possible, if we could rescind a second and have a further discussion with the administration and with Mason Lord, just have a little bit more of a discussion with him so I can gather a little bit more information and then take this back out in a couple of weeks, possibly. I don't know if that's possible.
Vice President Dolan?
I believe time is of the essence on this. Are you looking
It
to
is.
see what the total is? Like, I can pull up that email. Is that what you're looking for? or-
No, I just wanted to get a little further discussion with Mason Lord and with the administration on the difference of what maybe, say, a 75 versus 100 is going to be, and possibly have this. I can't imagine 2 weeks is going to be a problem.
I believe it might be because we need to sign contracts with the Pyro folks.
Unless we could have possibly a special meeting before the city, before the committee meetings. I don't know if that's possible or not.
Councilor Morrissey?
I think it makes sense. I mean, the 75 would fund this year's, and when they were talking, they said, we should be fundraising now for next year, so that would put them in that position where they're actually, all the fundraising they're doing will be for 2027. So, I mean, if we could save $25,000, with all the expenditures that keep popping up and the water main breaks and everything else, I think it would be worth it.
Any other comments? I think it makes sense to move forward today. I think it makes sense to move forward on this today. I appreciate the question, Councilor Angela, but I think we should try to move forward. Are there any other comments on the amendment? Hearing none, we'll have a roll call vote on the amendment to change it from $100,000 to $75,000, starting with count. What's that?
So a no vote means you do not support the amendment, but it goes back to the original motion.
That is correct.
Okay.
Is everyone clear on what we're voting on first? Okay. That will be a roll call vote, starting with Councilor Tavares.
No.
Mr. Tavares, no. Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes?
Ms. Holmes?
No.
Okay. Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes?
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
No.
President Kobus?
Yes.
6 yeas, 3 nays.
Thank you. Motion passes. Councilor Holmes.
I'd like to make a motion to make it $85,000 instead of $75,000.
Second.
Motion's in order. Councilor Holmes.
I think that we don't want to see this coming back down. I think it's cutting it very close. 75,000. They're already telling us it's going to be 70,000. So to say, okay, we're going to give them 75 is really just not enough room. We want to show the administration and the community that we're in support of these events. And I don't think that this is the appropriate time to be cutting away. We want them to be successful in this. And so they came down, they spoke to us. The way that Councilor Angelo handled this was completely appropriate to have everybody, the public come speak, the administration tell us what their plan is. Let's show them that we support this and not go down a path of saying, we're gonna give you exactly what you need. I just don't think that this is the right way to handle it. And that concludes my comments.
Thank you. Are there Any further, Counselor Dolan?
So they told us how much they needed, and again, we still have money in the fireworks fund. So we do support it. We are supporting it. The event will happen this year, the 250th anniversary party, fireworks, it will happen this year. We have that additional money. They told us it was $70,000, so I amended it to 75. So it will happen this year. We're giving the residents what we want, and we can revisit it because we don't know what our finances will be next year. So I'd rather keep it at 75.
Counselor Angelo?
Thanks, Council Holmes. I completely agree with you. We had a public hearing. The public spoke very handily on the support of 100,000, and I feel ignoring the public on this would be an injustice. Not supporting what the public hearing wanted on this. So I think a compromise for 85. I'd be happy to support that.
Thank you. Any other comments? Counselor Waterman?
I just want to ditto on what Michael just said. I think this is a good compromise, and I will support it.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Can we,
Counselor Waterman?
the yays mean what, and noes mean what?
Sorry. This is we're voting on the amendment, and so a yes vote would approve the amendment to 85,000 from 75. If this fails, we still we go back to the main motion, which is currently amended at 75,000. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
All right. This requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
No.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
No?
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Delisigo? President Colbus? Excuse me, that's the first time I did that.
No.
Okay, thank you. I've never done that. 6 yeas, 3 nays.
Motion passes. We are now back at the main motion at 85,000. Do we have any further comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
No?
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Delisio? President Colbus? I did it again.
Yes.
You got it right
I
in
am
front
so
of
sorry.
Oh,
I can't believe I did that.
Yes.
8 yeas, 1 nay.
Motion passes. Thank you. Counselor Angelo?
All right, that's all for Human Resources and Veterans Committee and committee meeting, and call for meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Moving on to Transportation, Counselor Waterman.
Yes, from the docket, this Transportation and Traffic Committee from the docket of December 16th, 2025. I move to approve the request to change ordinance 10-4, traffic control, to reflect the following. 10-4.11, isolated stop signs. Delete eastbound drivers on Steer Street at Pike Avenue. Insert northbound drivers on Birch at Cherry.
Second.
Thank you. Motion's in order. Counselor Waterman?
Well, I've gone over this a number of times. If this passes, the deletion of eastbound drivers, we will still have a stop sign there, but it will be a multi-way if that passes. with the two stop signs on
Council
Pike.
Waterman, do you want to read the amendments? Do you have the paper with the amendments?
Pass it down. I need,
So move to amend, or,
oh, okay. From the docket of December, is this the correct one?
yes, that's the updated
From the
one.
docket of December 16th, 2025, start over. I move to approve the request to change ordinance 10-4 traffic control to reflect the following. S 10-4.11 isolated stop signs. Delete eastbound drivers on Steer Street at Pike Avenue. S 10-4.12 multi-way stop signs, insert Steer Street and Pike Avenue.
Second.
Thank you.
Motions in order, and so we're clear, this is a motion to amend the previous one to, remember we had split this out, and this splits it out correctly. So that this first item here is now deleting the two-way stop sign or the isolated stop sign on Steer and Pike and replacing it with the four-way. So that's, is everyone clear on what the amendment does? It just cleans up these two motions for posterity and all that.
Yes. Are there any questions?
So if there are no further questions, we'll vote on the amendment first, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Kobus?
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
the motion to amend passes, and now we're back to the main motion. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Kobus?
Yes,
9 yeas, 0 nays.
motion passes.
And from the docket of December 16th, 2025, I move to approve the request to change ordinance S 10-4 traffic control to reflect the following. S 10-4.11 isolated stop signs, insert northbound drivers on Birch at Cherry.
Second.
And so, let me just clarify, it
Please.
should have said insert Steer Street and Pike Avenue, which was how we read it out of committee. Okay, so do we have a second on that?
Second.
Okay, motion is in order. Now, do you want to submit an amendment to change that from Steer Street and Pike Avenue to northbound drivers on, to say isolated stop signs, insert northbound drivers on Birch and Cherry?
So I was looking at two different ways it was written.
Well, this is how we voted it out last week.
Okay.
And this is how to amend it.
I'm a little confused on the language in this case.
Okay.
Can you say that?
So move to amend, to read isolated stop signs, insert northbound drivers on Birch at Cherry instead of Steer Street and Pike Ave.
So I move to amend, insert northbound drivers on Birch and Cherry.
Second.
Perfect. Is everybody clear on how, what we changed here? So previously, previously, if either one of these had passed independently and the other one had failed, like, they couldn't ever pass independently. So this just moves the new stop sign out to this second motion here. So the second motion is to add the stop sign at Birch and Cherry. The second one was to change an existing two-way isolated stop sign to a four-way. Does that all make sense? Okay. So now we're working off the amendment. Are there any questions on the amendment? And we'll vote on that first. Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes,
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
The amendment passes, and we're back to the main motion. Are there any questions or comments on the main motion? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes. Counselor Waterman?
Okay, well, that concludes the business of the Traffic and Transportation Committee. We'll call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Counselor Sawyer?
There's no business for the Zoning, Land Use, and Sustainability Committee, so that will be canceled, but I'm also canceling the city property.
You call it for a public meeting at the next appropriate time for
Yes.
city property. Perfect.
Thank you.
And Counselor McIntyre?
IT and Infrastructure has no business this evening. I would call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Outstanding. Counselor Holmes?
Thank you. Reporting for Public Safety and Emergency Management Committee. I have 3 items this evening. From the docket of February 17th, 2026, I move to transfer $50,000 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Fire Overtime to cover overtime costs for Fire Department Apparatus Maintenance Officer.
Second.
Motion is in order. Counselor Holmes?
Thank you. We discussed in committee, we did try to give them, this is kind of making me think about the fireworks vote right now. We did reduce their funding last year for this, and then they had to come back to kind of ask for what is more in line of what they've had in prior years. So this is just to, again, cover some overtime costs.
Perfect. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of February 17th, 2026, I move to appropriate $25,000 from account undesignated fund balance free cash general government to account fire dispatch overtime for overtime funds to fill dispatch vacancies for the remainder of fiscal year 26.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
No, we did discuss in committee.
Perfect. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
Thank you. From the docket of February 17th, 2026, I move to transfer $16,700 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to the following accounts. $7,700 to account Fire Heating and $9,000 to account Fire Lights and Power.
Second.
No, that's okay. For funding for heating and electricity for the remainder of fiscal year 26 for the fire department.
Second.
Thank you.
Motion's in order. Counselor Holmes?
We discussed in committee, but it has been, I think even, I was mentioning even in our own homes, the cost of heat and electric has gone way up, so.
Thank you. This requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
That concludes the business. I'll call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. Vice President Dolan?
Thank you. Reporting for Public Works Committee from the docket of February 17th, 2026, I move to transfer $331.54 from account wastewater enterprise fund reserve fund for transfer to account wastewater enterprise fund bills previous years to pay additional charges from Badger Meter that were not included in the fiscal year 2022 encumbered purchase order.
Second.
Motion is in order.
I have no comments. We discussed in committee.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo? President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
From the docket of February 17, 2026, I move to transfer $497.30 from account Water Enterprise Fund Reserve Fund for transfer to account Water Enterprise Fund bills from previous years to pay additional charges from Badger Meter that were not included in the fiscal year 2022 encumbered purchase order.
Second.
Motion is in order.
No comments. We discussed in committee.
Thank you. Any other comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote. We'll start with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
That's all the business for the Public Works Committee. I call for a committee meeting at next appropriate time.
Counselor Morrissey.
Thank you. Reporting for the License Committee, we have one item tonight from the docket of December 2nd, 2025. I move to approve the license application to host auctions from Deborah Carroll, doing business as Bam Smash Coop Ltd., 129 Bank Street, to have monthly public auctions with a licensed auctioneer.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments, Counselor Morrissey?
No, disgusting committee.
Perfect. Any other questions or comments? This requires a roll call, a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Counselor Morrissey?
That concludes the business for the License Committee, and I will call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Perfect. Counselor Tavares?
Thank you, President Copus. From the docket of February 17, 2026, actually, I'm sorry, strike that. Reporting for ordinances, elections, and legislative matters. From the docket of February 17, 2026, I move to call for a public hearing on March 3rd, 2026, on the establishment of a joint ad hoc charter study committee with the objective of making municipal government more transparent, effective, efficient, and responsive to the current and future needs of our growing community.
Second.
Motion is in order. Counselor Tavares?
This is just to call for the public hearing.
Perfect. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, this requires a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
From the docket of November 18, 2025, I move to amend the revised ordinances of the City of Attleboro by amending Chapter 5, Finance, to include the following new section, 5-12, Tax Title Payment Agreements.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any questions or comments?
So we discussed this in committee. I have no further substantive comments on this, but I think this will create a valuable tool for the treasurer to be able to help us to collect uncollected taxes.
Perfect. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
From the docket of October 15, 2024, I move to discharge the following: to introduce a new committee, Section 2-22, Community Engagement Committee.
Second.
Motion is in order.
I have
Counselor
no,
Tavares?
yeah, thank you. I have no additional comments on this.
Thank you. Are there any other questions or comments on this? And just so that people are aware that this vote is to discharge it from a committee. If it passes and it requires a 2/3 vote, and so we'll do a roll call vote for this, but if it passes, I will then reassign it to the Human Resources and Veterans Committee. Does that all make sense? All right, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes, and thank you.
And that concludes the business of ordinances, elections, and legislative matters. We call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Perfect. Vice President Dolan?
Thank you. Reporting for Finance Committee, I have two motions this evening. From the docket of February 17, 2026, I move to transfer $2,000 from account Citywide Reserve Fund for transfer to account Protective Inspection Salary and Wages Part-Time to fill a temporary part-time clerical position to cover the office until the staff returns in the Building Inspection Department.
Second.
Motion is in order.
I have no comments. We discussed in committee.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, this requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Tavares.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
From the docket of February 17, 2026, I move to approve expenditures of no more than $800,000 from the SPED Stabilization Fund 8507 for the unexpected special education transportation costs incurred during the current fiscal year.
Second.
Motion is in order. Any comments?
No comments discussed in committee.
Thank you. This requires a roll call vote, starting with Counselor Angelo.
Mr. Angelo?
Yes.
Mr. Waterman?
Yes.
Ms. Sawyer?
Yes.
Mr. McIntyre?
Yes.
Ms. Holmes?
Yes.
Vice President Dolan?
Yes.
Ms. Morrissey?
Yes.
Mr. Tavares?
Yes.
President Cobus?
Yes.
9 yeas, 0 nays.
Motion passes.
And that's all the business for the Finance Committee, and I call for a committee meeting at the next appropriate time.
Thank you. And just for transparency and so everyone's aware, there is the additional item here for the joint resolution between the mayor, the council, and the school committee for talking about school funding. We are still, just to give people an update, we are still waiting on language from Representative Hawkins for that to update this in order to be more effective, or hopefully more effective. So that's why this item is held for this week, and we'll hopefully get it out in 2 weeks. Does that all make sense? All right. And that's it for existing business. There's no old business. We'll go to new business. And for the first item, I'll recognize Counselor Angelo.
President Cobus. I move to refer for study recommendations to reappoint Deborah O'Connor of 386 South Washington Street, North Attleboro, for a 2-year term as city auditor, term to expire February 2028.
Second.
Motion is in order.
Deborah's been a long-term, auditor for the city. She's done a great job, and I welcome her for another 2-year term. I think this is great.
The city is incredibly lucky to have her. Any other questions or comments? This requires a roll call vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
You said roll call.
Excuse me, voice vote, although required a voice vote. All right, moving on. Are there any announcements? Do you want to mention the Winterfest?
Yep, Winterfest is Saturday.
4:30 to 7:30.
4:30 to
I was gonna
7:30?
say the date, but I couldn't remember it. 21st, 4:30 to 7:30. Free everything, face painting. It should be great for the kids. The bonfire's back, so if you can get down, we'd love to have you.
What's it again, Saturday?
Yes.
4:30
4:30 to 7:30.
Outstanding.
February 21st.
Any other announcements? I have one. For next week, I'm calling for a special council meeting at 7 o'clock, same time. And that's just to hear the mayor come down and talk on a off night and give some updates on things that are going on with the city. So the only agenda item will be to hear from the mayor for a few minutes, and then we'll move right into committee meetings right after that. Council Waterman.
Well, it's what I love, tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, there'll be the championship game of the Attleboro Invitational Tournament. In Attleboro there was a 4-team tournament, and the 2 teams that are playing for the championship is Attleboro High School and Bishop Fia.
Outstanding.
It's a wonderful venue if you haven't been at the basketball court, and there's room for about 1,200 people to sit there, so don't worry about seating.
Outstanding. Go Attleboro. Any other comments? Hearing none, move to adjourn
Second.
at 7:58. Thank you. Motion's in order. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned at 7:58. Thanks, everyone.